Take a moment, right now. Breathe in deeply and allow the rush of life to quiet itself around you. In this very second, everything else can fade to the background because there is something far more significant waiting for your attention. Your spirit, weary from the relentless pace of the world, deserves this pause. It's time to acknowledge the weight of your journey, the heartaches, the doubts, the hopes that feel like distant echoes. Know this: in the silence, in the stillness that often feels overwhelming, there is a presence. It is not a distant, impersonal force, but the Almighty, the Creator of the universe, the one who spoke the stars into place and shaped every mountain with his hands, sees you right here, right now. He sees the parts of your heart that are too raw to express, the dreams you've held in secret, and the fears that rise like shadows in the quiet moments, even when the world appears still and silent. His eyes are never turned away from you. In fact, it is in these moments of silence that he is working the most deeply, crafting your path in ways you might not yet understand. You may feel that God is distant, that your prayers bounce back in emptiness, unanswered. But hear this: silence is not absence. The delay you feel is not a denial of your heart's cry. It is not rejection, but a moment of divine preparation, a pause before the breakthrough. Everything in this universe operates on divine timing, not ours, not the world's, but the perfect timing of a creator who sees the beginning from the end. The truth is that God's ways are higher than ours, his thoughts deeper than we can grasp. And when he remains silent, it is not because he has abandoned us. It is because he is aligning things, weaving a story that you are a part of, and preparing you for something that will surpass all your expectations. In this moment, allow yourself to feel the comfort in knowing that you are not forgotten. Your journey is being delicately woven, stitch by stitch, by the hands of the one who knows the depths of your heart. Every tear, every silent prayer, every moment of uncertainty, they are all seen. Your story is not a collection of random events, but a carefully crafted narrative written by divine hands. Though you may not see it, God is moving behind the scenes, preparing things that will bring you into the fullness of his plan. So, as you sit here, let this truth sink deep into your soul. You are not where you are by chance. The God who formed galaxies, who knows the stars by name, is also the God who knows you intimately, who holds every moment of your life in his hands. He is not finished with you yet. Even now, as you sit in silence, he is speaking through the quiet, through the waiting, through the seemingly endless delays. What you are experiencing is not the absence of God. It is the active presence of a creator who is making all things beautiful in his time. Trust in his timing, for it is perfect. Trust in his silence, for it is not abandonment, but a sacred preparation for the greatness he has in store for you. So, breathe deeply again, and know that this is not the end of your story. It is just the beginning of the next chapter, written by the hands of the divine. Have you ever found yourself awake in the quiet of night, your mind drifting back to someone you can't quite shake, a person who lingers in your thoughts, as if an invisible thread tugs at your spirit, drawing your heart toward them even when they are far away? You might have asked yourself, why does this connection persist? Why does their memory echo in your mind when you've tried so hard to move forward? It's as though they are a part of you, a fragment of your soul that refuses to be forgotten, despite all the distance, all the silence. This is no mere coincidence. What you are feeling is not random. It is not simply nostalgia, nor is it a passing thought. What you are experiencing is the unmistakable pull of something far greater, something divine. There is a thread, though you cannot see it, that connects your heart to theirs, and it was woven by the hands of the Creator long before either of you ever knew its weight. It's a thread that carries the essence of something eternal, something destined. And though the distance may feel vast, the connection remains silent, but undeniably strong. This is a spiritual connection, designed by God Himself. It is not born from happenstance, nor is it subject to the fleeting whims of chance. The bond you feel is part of a greater story being written for you both. And even if you can't see the whole picture, each part of this connection has been meticulously planned by the hand of God. In the quiet moments, when you find your heart drawn back to them, know this: the thoughts you have, the feelings you experience, they are not illusions. They are divine whispers. A subtle reminder that something far beyond your understanding is unfolding. Heaven has placed this connection in your life for a reason, a purpose that transcends what you can currently perceive. You might wonder why the timing feels off, why the person who lingers in your heart seems so distant. It's easy to mistake this distance for rejection, to interpret the silence as a sign that something is wrong, but in reality, what feels like separation is actually preparation. Heaven does not work in the rush of time as we know it. Instead, God moves with precision, crafting moments and people to align with His greater purpose. And sometimes, this preparation requires a period of stillness, a time when everything feels suspended, as if nothing is moving forward. But understand this: the silence is not a pause in God's plan. It is a season of transformation. Just as a seed must lie buried in the earth before it can sprout, there are moments in our lives when we must wait, unseen and unknown, before the fullness of God's plan is revealed. The waiting, the longing, the unanswered prayers, they are not in vain. They are the very soil in which your future is being cultivated. What feels like an empty space is actually a sacred place, where God is working in both your heart and theirs, softening the ground, breaking down barriers, and preparing both souls for the union they are destined to share. You may not see it now, but the connection you feel is far more than a passing moment or a fleeting attachment. It is a divine thread that runs through the very fabric of your life, weaving a story that only God could author. In this moment, trust that the silence is purposeful, that the separation is not abandonment, but preparation. God is at work, quietly, faithfully, bringing two hearts closer together for a union that will be nothing short of miraculous. So, hold on to the truth that this connection is not a coincidence. It is a thread of destiny, and in God's perfect timing, the pieces will fall into place. The wait will not be forever, and the silence will give way to the sound of hearts aligning with the rhythm of God's will. Trust the process. The divine thread is pulling you towards something greater, something eternal, something that has been written long before you even realized it. And when the time comes, you will see clearly what was once invisible, the divine purpose behind every moment of waiting. There is a stillness that settles into the heart when we're waiting for something we deeply desire, a silence that stretches out, making every passing moment feel like eternity. It is in this stillness that something profound happens. Though the world around you seems unmoved, though the silence weighs heavy and unanswered prayers seem to drift into the void, there is something happening in the unseen. God is working, even when you can't see it. His hand is moving behind the scenes, shaping, refining, and preparing both you and the person you're waiting for, and the work He's doing may be more powerful than anything you could imagine. The spiritual labor that comes with waiting is often invisible. We long for action, for clarity, for the resolution of our heart's deepest cries. But the waiting itself is a refining process. Think of it as the quiet hum of a furnace, a heat that purifies and strengthens, but does so in a way that's not visible to the eye. In these moments of waiting, God is not idle. He is shaping your character, teaching you patience, and building the strength and endurance you need to carry the weight of the promise that is on its way. In this sacred pause, He is not absent, but He is making space for something greater. You are not sitting still in a void. You are being transformed. There are seasons when it feels as though nothing is moving, When it seems like everything you've worked for, prayed for, and hoped for has been placed on hold. Yet, what you may not realize is that the waiting is not about inactivity, it is about positioning. Just as the farmer does not see the seed grow from beneath the soil, but knows it is working its way to the surface, so too are you being shaped in the silence. You may not see the growth in the moment, but that does not mean the work is not happening. This invisible transformation is something that is seen time and again in the Bible. Take Ruth, for instance. Ruth was a woman who endured loss, heartache, and waiting. And yet her waiting was not wasted. She followed her mother-in-law, Naomi, into an unknown land, not knowing what the future held. Yet she chose faithfulness. She did not demand her blessing to come at once, nor did she abandon hope when things seemed impossible. Instead, she quietly trusted, doing what was right, living out her days in integrity and service, even when there seemed to be no immediate reward. It was in that space of waiting that her story unfolded. Ruth's faithfulness was not about standing idle, but about allowing God to shape her in the waiting. And in that process of transformation, she met Boaz. The waiting had been preparation not only for the fulfillment of her personal desires, but for the larger plan God had for her life. Her patience was not a sign of passivity, but a reflection of her trust in God's timing. In the end, Ruth didn't just receive a husband, but she became part of the bloodline of King David, and ultimately, Jesus Christ. What began as an ordinary wait became part of an extraordinary divine plan. The same is true for you. The waiting you're experiencing is not an interruption in your life. It is part of God's divine strategy. He is positioning you, aligning everything in perfect order, preparing both your heart and theirs for what is to come. Every moment of stillness, every moment of longing, is working together for your good. God is not just refining the situation, He is refining you. You may not feel it now, but in every silent prayer, in every tear you've shed, in every moment of doubt that has crept in, you are being strengthened. You may wonder, how can this waiting possibly be good for me? How can the silence, the distance, the unanswered questions be anything but cruel? But here is the truth. This is not punishment. This is divine positioning. God is not withholding from you. He is preparing you for something greater than what you can currently see. He is working within you, stretching you to hold more, to become more, to love more deeply and selflessly. Your character, your spirit, your heart are all being shaped in ways that only waiting can provide. Think of a potter at the wheel, working on a piece of clay. The wheel spins, and the potter's hands guide the clay, shaping it, pressing it, molding it into the shape it was always meant to become. But that process requires time, patience, and heat. The potter knows that only through the pressure and the heat can the clay become strong enough to fulfill its purpose. The same is true for you. The waiting period is the shaping of your spirit, the refining of your heart. It may not feel comfortable, but it is necessary. The promise that you are waiting for cannot be fully realized unless you have been prepared to receive it. In this silence, God is creating capacity within you. He is growing your ability to trust, to let go of control, to stand firm in faith. Even when you cannot see the next step, He is teaching you to embrace the uncertainty, knowing that He is still in control. This waiting season is not a season of punishment. It is a season of growth, and in this growth, you are being made ready for what God is preparing for you. You might feel that your prayers are unheard, that your longing is not being acknowledged. But rest assured, God is at work. Just as a seed remains hidden beneath the surface, transforming in ways that are unseen, so too are you being transformed. The pain you feel, the ache in your heart, is not a sign of absence. It is the evidence of the work God is doing in you. He is cultivating something beautiful, something lasting, something eternal. And when the time is right, when you and the person you are waiting for have been shaped, tested, and refined, the union will not just be a meeting of hearts, it will be a divine intersection, the joining of two people who have been prepared by the Master's hand. So, embrace the waiting. Trust the process. Know that the silence you feel is not abandonment, but preparation. God is working, even when you cannot see it, and when the day comes that you meet again, it will not be by accident. It will be the fulfillment of God's perfect timing, a testimony to His faithfulness, and a reminder that every moment of waiting, of longing, and of silent prayer was part of a divine plan far greater than what you could have imagined. Waiting. It's a word that carries an undeniable weight. It's not just the passage of time, it's a heavy burden on the heart, the soul, the spirit. When you're waiting for something or someone, every second seems to stretch beyond its limit. Every tick of the clock echoing louder in the silence. It is in this space of waiting that we find ourselves exposed, vulnerable, restless, longing, and often weary. The desire for resolution pulses deep within. And yet, the answer seems distant, elusive. But what if this waiting, this very weight you are carrying, is not the enemy, but the necessary soil from which something profound is about to grow? Yes, waiting is hard. It's hard when it feels like nothing is happening, when it seems like the heavens are silent, when your prayers seem to fall into empty space. But here's the truth. Waiting is a divine process, and it is necessary for spiritual growth. Just as the most beautiful plants take time to grow, nurtured by the soil and rain, so too does your soul need time to be shaped, refined, and prepared for what's coming. The waiting is not in vain. It is God's way of shaping you, of strengthening you, of preparing you for the great and holy things that lie ahead. Consider the emotional and spiritual weight you feel, the longing, the ache, the deep sense of yearning that pulls at your heart. You wonder if it will ever end. But what you might not realize is that this weight is not just a burden. It is spiritual labor. It is the process of your soul being stretched, of your character being refined. Think of the goldsmith, who places raw metal into the furnace, heating it to extreme temperatures, removing the impurities that mar its brilliance. The metal is no longer the same. It is stronger, purer, more valuable, and in the same way, God uses the waiting to refine you. The Bible is filled with stories of individuals who endured long, painful waits before the promises of God were fulfilled. Take Sarah, for example. She waited years, decades, in fact, for the child she so desperately longed for. Year after year, the promise seemed to fade, as her body grew older and her hope seemed more and more like a distant dream. Yet, in the fullness of time, when all seemed impossible, God fulfilled His promise to her, and she bore Isaac, the child of promise. But the waiting had been far more than just a test of patience. It was a test of faith. Each day of waiting was a day of God refining Sarah's faith, strengthening her trust in His timing and His power. Sarah's waiting wasn't wasted, it was preparation. The same is true for you. The weight you feel right now, the emotional ache, the doubts that rise in the quiet moments, are not signs of God's absence. They are signs that God is preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. The emotional and spiritual weight is His way of stretching your heart, teaching you to trust when you cannot see the end, to hold on even when the promise seems far away. Think also of the Israelites in the wilderness. They wandered for 40 years, and for much of that time, they had to wait. Wait for provision, wait for deliverance, wait for a promise that seemed so far off. But that waiting wasn't idle. God was refining them, shaping them into a people who would be able to carry the promise He had in store. Every day of waiting was a day of preparation, a day of spiritual labor that would result in a mighty nation being born. That waiting period wasn't punishment. It was a divine process, a process of growth, faith, and transformation. The weight of your waiting, too, is not a punishment. It is divine preparation. And just like those who have gone before you, like Sarah, like the Israelites, this season of waiting is not meant to break you, but to build you. Every tear you've shed, every moment you've questioned, every time you've wondered if it will ever come to pass, they are all part of the refining process. In your waiting, God is strengthening your faith. He is teaching you to trust Him when everything around you says the opposite. He is building your endurance, helping you to persevere, so that when the promise arrives, you will be able to carry it with a heart that is ready, a heart that has been purified by the fire of waiting. You may feel as though the waiting is unending, that the promise is slipping further and further away, but in truth, it is drawing closer to you every day. God's timing is perfect. What feels like a delay is simply preparation, a divine alignment of hearts, circumstances, and timing that will bring everything into place at the perfect moment. And what is the end result of this process? A deeper trust, a stronger faith, a heart that is ready to receive. The waiting refines you, yes, but it also empowers you. The person you are becoming in this season is not the person you were before. Every moment of waiting, every moment of pain and longing is making you stronger. It is refining your character, expanding your capacity to love, to forgive, to endure. When the promise finally arrives, when your heart's longing is fulfilled, you will know that the waiting was not just an inconvenience. It was the very thing that prepared you to receive what God had in store. Just as a runner builds strength by enduring the training, so too does your soul grow stronger in the waiting. And when the time comes, when the promise is finally revealed, you will see that every second of waiting was not wasted. It was all part of the divine design. So, do not fear the weight of waiting. Do not be discouraged by the silence or the distance. You are being prepared. God is not ignoring you. He is working in you, and through you, and for you. Trust the process. Trust His timing. The weight you feel is not a sign of abandonment, but of preparation. You are being refined, strengthened, and transformed for something far greater than you could ever imagine. Embrace this season of waiting as a gift. Embrace the discomfort, the uncertainty, and the longing. For in the waiting, God is doing something beautiful, something eternal, that will carry you into the fullness of His promises. What He has started in you, He will finish. The weight you carry today is the weight of transformation, and when the promise comes, it will be worth every moment of waiting, every tear, every prayer, and every step of faith you have taken. There is a rhythm to the universe, a divine pulse that beats beyond the clock of our lives. We are often trapped in the urgency of our own desires, watching the seconds tick by and feeling the weight of time slipping through our fingers. It is natural to feel restless, to long for the next chapter, the next step, the next promise to unfold. Yet, what if the very timing we are waiting for is not delayed or denied? What if, instead, the timing is exactly what it is supposed to be? A perfect alignment of heaven's wisdom and purpose. The timing of God is not bound by human understanding. It is not hurried, nor is it stalled. God's timing is not like our clocks, ticking in linear fashion with impatience and pressure. His timing is divine, and it operates on a frequency far beyond our comprehension. It is woven with the threads of eternity, carefully measured to meet the right moment, with the right people, at the right time. We may not see it, but God is constantly orchestrating the most intricate symphony, where every note plays at its appointed moment, and every pause serves its purpose. This is where trust becomes paramount. When you are waiting, when you are feeling the weight of time against you, it is easy to become anxious. You may find yourself questioning whether God has forgotten you or if His plan has been delayed. But remember this: God's plan is never delayed. It is always on time. His perfect timing is not bound by earthly limitations, but by divine wisdom and purpose. Even when it feels like nothing is moving, God is working behind the scenes, preparing things that are far bigger than you can see. In moments of waiting, it can feel like the clock is ticking against you. The promises seem distant, like mirages on the horizon that you can never quite reach. But this is where we must remember one of the most powerful truths of our faith. God's timing is not just good, it is perfect. His timing will always be aligned with His greater purpose, and that purpose is far grander than our immediate understanding. He is not only shaping your present, He is aligning your future with eternal significance. The prophet Habakkuk knew the weight of waiting well. In his time, he cried out to God, seeking answers in a season that felt painfully delayed. God's response came in the form of a profound promise. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it linger. Wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Habakkuk 2:3. In that moment, God reminded Habakkuk, and He is reminding us that even when things seem to be lingering, they are unfolding exactly as they should. The promises are appointed for the right time, even if we don't see it in the moment. God's plan is unfolding with perfect precision. It is tempting, when we are in the thick of waiting, to feel as though time is working against us. We want to push things forward, to force things to happen on our terms. But that is not how God works. His plans are not hurried. His will is not rushed. He is not caught off guard by the passage of time. And though we may not always understand why things take longer than we expect, we can rest in the assurance that God's timing is sovereign, and it is always aligned with His wisdom. Consider the seasons of nature. The flowers don't rush their blooming. They wait for the right moment, when the conditions are perfect. The sun doesn't rise early or set late. It follows its appointed course, casting its light exactly when it's meant to. So too does God's timing follow an order that is far beyond what we can control. His plans are laid out with divine precision, and what might seem like a delay to us is actually part of the process. The seasons of waiting, though uncomfortable, are just as necessary as the seasons of fulfillment. Without the waiting, there would be no growth. Without the silence, there would be no strengthening. Trusting the divine process means accepting that we are not in control of the timeline, and that, in itself, is a powerful release. It is freedom to know that we are not bound by the clock, but rather, we are held in the hands of the one who orchestrates all things perfectly. Even when the days feel long and the future feels uncertain, trust that you are exactly where you need to be. God is not just preparing your promise. He is preparing you for the promise. The waiting is not just a time of inaction. It is a time of formation, of shaping, of refining. Think about the story of Joseph. His journey was one of painful waiting, betrayal, and false accusations. Yet, every step of his journey, from the pit to the prison to the palace, was part of the divine plan. He had dreams, promises from God, but he couldn't see the path that would lead him there. His time in prison, his years of waiting, were not wasted. They were God's perfect preparation for the moment when he would rise to power and save his family and nation. What felt like delay was actually divine positioning, a critical part of the process. Joseph's faithfulness in the waiting period, his trust in God's timing, was what enabled him to step into his purpose with strength when the time came. And so it is with you. There may be moments when you feel like you are in the dark, when the wait seems endless, when it feels like the promise is slipping away. But trust. In this truth, God is working behind the scenes. His timing is not just perfect, it is intentional. Every day of waiting is a day of preparation, both for you and for the world around you. Trust the divine process. Know that you are exactly where you need to be. Even in moments of uncertainty, God has not forgotten you, nor has He left you alone. He is working, quietly and faithfully, to bring about His perfect plan. And when the moment arrives, when everything aligns, you will see with clarity the masterpiece He has been painting all along. The waiting will not be remembered for its pain, but for the beauty that came from it. the strength, the wisdom, the perseverance that you developed as you trusted in His timing. So rest in the assurance that you are not waiting in vain. The clock of heaven moves at a different pace, and the delays you face are not setbacks. They are steps in your divine journey. Trust that, when the time is right, everything will fall into place. It will come not a moment too late, but exactly when it was meant to. Trust the process, for in His time, He makes all things beautiful. There is a still, sacred work taking place, one that you cannot see, but that is undeniably real. It's a work that is unfolding deep within the heart of the one you've been waiting for. Even as you navigate the silence, the distance, and the uncertainty, you might wonder, is anything happening on the other side of this waiting? You may find yourself questioning whether their heart is moving, whether God is working in them as He is working in you. But hear this, God is quietly awakening their heart, even when it seems like nothing is changing. Just as the earth waits for the warmth of the sun to stir the seed to life, so too is their heart being stirred by the divine hand. The process is not always visible, nor is it always immediate. But make no mistake, behind the scenes, God is at work. He is planting seeds of change, softening hard places, and awakening desires they may not even understand yet. Their heart is being prepared for a moment of clarity, a moment where everything that once seemed unclear will fall into place, and the truth of your connection will shine through. In the quiet, they may not yet recognize the divine stirring in their soul. There may be moments where they wrestle with doubt, fear, or resistance. But even in those moments, God is gently breaking down the walls they've built. It's not forceful. It's not rushed. It's a quiet, sacred awakening. A process that takes place with divine timing and purpose. This is not a moment of coercion. This is a moment of divine restoration. God is working in them as He works in you. Just as He is shaping your heart in this waiting period, He is shaping theirs in ways that only He can see. The walls they've built, perhaps from past hurts, disappointments, or fear, are not insurmountable. Though they may seem distant or closed off, God is moving in their heart, breaking down the emotional resistance they've erected. Every past wound, every scar, every fear that has held them back is being gently healed by the hand of God. He is doing a quiet work of restoration, one that you may not see, but that you can trust is taking place. You are not waiting in vain. God is moving in both hearts, yours and theirs. The waiting is not for nothing. It is preparation, transformation, and healing. In the same way that a rose takes time to blossom, so too is their heart being prepared for the fullness of what God has in store. Their journey, just like yours, is one of healing and growth. What may seem like resistance or distance is, in fact, part of the transformation. It is God clearing away the debris of the past, healing old wounds, and aligning their heart with His perfect will. The emotional and spiritual battles they face are not obstacles, but part of the process of refining, preparing them for what lies ahead. The deeper the work that God is doing, the greater the outcome will be. And when the time comes, when the moment of awakening arrives, it will be unmistakable. It will not be a vague or uncertain experience. It will not leave you questioning or second-guessing. It will come with clarity, with divine confirmation that cannot be ignored. The veil of confusion will lift, and what once seemed distant, uncertain, or out of reach will suddenly be brought into clear focus. When that moment comes, there will be no doubt in your heart. It will not be a casual encounter, nor a half-hearted gesture. It will be a clear and unmistakable realization that everything that has been happening behind the scenes has led to this very moment. The person who has been silent or distant will return not with hesitance or confusion, but with a heart that has been softened, healed, and awakened by God's love. Their heart will be ready to receive the connection that you both share. The walls that once stood between you will crumble, And what was once hidden in the darkness will be brought into the light. Imagine it as a sunrise, a gradual light that breaks through the darkness, casting away the shadows, revealing the beauty that was there all along. This moment will be like that, a moment of clarity that brings everything into perspective. No more wondering, no more confusion. When they return, their heart will be open, their eyes will be clear, and they will see you not as someone they've forgotten, not as someone they've ignored, but as someone they were always meant to walk beside. The transformation will be evident. The person who once struggled with fear, pride, or hesitation will come to you with a heart that is humble, with a love that is whole. The clarity will not just be in their actions, but in their understanding. They will come, not with uncertainty, but with the confidence that God has led them back to you. They will no longer be the person they were before the waiting, before the refining process. They will return with a heart that has been shaped by the hands of the Almighty, with a renewed sense of purpose and a deep understanding of what the connection between you truly means. It's important to trust that the waiting is not in vain. Even when things seem uncertain, even when the silence feels like a weight, remember that God is working on both of you. He is not only awakening their heart, but He is also preparing yours. The waiting is not a time of stagnation. It is a time of divine preparation. When the moment arrives, it will not be a half-hearted return. It will be a revelation. The person who returns to you will be someone who has been transformed by God's love and grace, someone who sees you with clarity, someone who understands the depth of the connection you share. In that moment, there will be no doubt. The truth will be clear. The waiting will be over, and the connection that was always meant to be will unfold in divine clarity. What was once veiled in uncertainty will now be seen in the full light of God's purpose. And when that time comes, you will know, without a shadow of a doubt, that everything that has transpired, every moment of waiting, every tear shed, was all part of the divine process. The awakening is not just for the person you've been waiting for. It is for you as well. And it is for something greater than you could have ever imagined. So hold on to this truth. The waiting is not wasted. The transformation is happening, both in you and in the one you are waiting for. And when the moment of awakening comes, it will be with clarity, with certainty, and with divine confirmation that this journey, this beautiful, challenging, refining journey is leading you both to something far greater than you ever dreamed. What if I told you that the silence, the distance, and the struggle you're feeling right now are not just passive moments in time, but an active battleground, an arena where forces are clashing for something profoundly sacred? The waiting you're enduring is not simply a waiting room. It is a field of spiritual warfare, where unseen powers are at work. You feel the weight of it, the pull between hope and doubt, between longing and the silence that stretches endlessly. But here's the truth. The resistance you're facing is not a sign of defeat. It is evidence that what you are waiting for is significant. So significant that the very forces of the world, both seen and unseen, are trying to keep it from manifesting. The spiritual battle is not a distant concept. It is here, it is now, and it is part of the very process that is shaping your destiny. You've probably felt it, the emotional swings, the heaviness in your spirit, the moments where the weight of waiting feels unbearable. These aren't random feelings. They are the byproduct of a battle that is being waged for your union. The deeper the connection, the more intense the resistance. The enemy does not fear fleeting, shallow relationships. He does not waste his schemes on connections that pose no threat. But when two hearts are aligned with heaven's purpose, when their union is not just for earthly fulfillment, but for a divine mission, that's when the battle begins in earnest. Think of the resistance as a signpost, a spiritual indicator that what you are pursuing is of eternal consequence. The greater the calling, the fiercer the opposition. The waiting is not passive. It is the refining fire, the forging of both individuals who will be prepared to walk in their divine purpose. The enemy will seek to distract, to confuse, to break down the foundations of your faith. And in moments of doubt, when you feel alone or uncertain, know that this struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces that recognize the power in the union that God has ordained for you. But here is the good news. There is no force that can stand against God's will. The Creator of the heavens and the earth, He who spoke light into existence, and who parts the seas, has spoken over your story. When the time is right, there is no power, no obstacle, no circumstance that can keep what God has planned from coming to pass. His will is unshakable, and His plan is unstoppable. Though the waiting may feel long and the battle fierce, trust this: what God has promised, He will fulfill. The same God who raised the dead to life, who turned the tide of nations, is the same God who is shaping your story, weaving it with His perfect timing. The union that you are waiting for is not just about two people finding each other for companionship or fulfillment. It is about spiritual alignment. It is about bringing together two souls who were destined to reflect the glory of God in ways that go beyond earthly love. This is a union that will carry weight. It is a divine partnership, a sacred covenant, one that is designed not just to fulfill your heart's desires, but to advance God's kingdom on earth. Your connection is a living testament to the power of divine love, a love that mirrors the love of Christ for His church, selfless, sacrificial, and eternal. It's not just a romantic bond, it is a calling, a partnership that carries the weight of spiritual purpose. You are being prepared, not only for each other, but for the work that you will do together, the impact you will have, the lives you will touch, and the legacy you will build. So, when you feel the weight of this battle, when you are tempted to give up or to question the validity of the promise, remember this: the battle you are facing is a testament to the importance of the union. God is not just bringing two people together for the sake of companionship. He is building something eternal. Your union is a reflection of His glory, a reflection of His love, and it will carry His purpose far beyond anything you could imagine. And when the time comes, when the battle has been won, when the spiritual forces of resistance have been dismantled, your union will emerge stronger, purer, and more powerful than ever before. It will be a union that speaks not just of love, but of the glory of God. It will reflect His kingdom, His power, and His purpose in ways that you have yet to see. Trust in the process. Trust in the divine timing. Know that God is preparing both your hearts for something far greater than anything you could hope for or imagine. What you are waiting for is not just a fleeting moment. It is a sacred union, one that will reflect the glory of God for generations to come. The battle is fierce, but the victory is assured, and when the time comes, it will not be with confusion, but with the clarity of divine confirmation that this love, this union, was always meant to be. It's easy to think of love as something that exists for our own fulfillment, a momentary joy, a fleeting happiness. In a world that often elevates romantic love as the ultimate goal, it can be hard to see beyond the surface of emotions and desires. But the union you're waiting for, the one that stirs your heart and calls you to deeper places of faith and trust, is not simply about love as the world defines it. It is about covenant, and covenant is not just about two hearts coming together. It is about divine purpose, the fulfillment of a higher calling, and the creation of a legacy that will echo through time. This is not a love born out of convenience or chance. This is a union forged in the heart of God, planned long before either of you even knew each other. It is sacred, holy, and filled with purpose far beyond your own personal desires. You are not simply waiting for a companion. You are waiting for someone who will stand beside you in the fulfillment of God's plan for your lives. This covenant is not just about finding someone to love. It is about stepping into a divine purpose that transcends anything you could have imagined. God's love is a love that is meant to be shared, multiplied, and passed on. It is a love that carries with it the weight of responsibility, but also the glory of transformation. When He ordains a union, it is never just for the individuals involved. It is for the generations that will follow, for the impact it will have on families, communities, and even nations. The relationship you are stepping into is a vessel for healing and restoration. Not only for you and your partner, but for all those around you. This divine covenant carries the power to break generational cycles, to heal old wounds, to bring forth a new lineage that reflects the goodness and glory of God. It is not a small thing you are stepping into. Every word of encouragement, every prayer you offer together, every act of kindness and sacrifice in the name of love will have a ripple effect far beyond what you see. You are not just creating a life together. You are building a foundation that will impact generations to come. Think of the families that will be touched by this covenant, the children who will be born out of this union, the friends and loved ones who will witness the strength and beauty of your relationship. Your love story is not just about you. It is about everyone who will be touched by the overflow of your union. The healing you experience together will pour out, touching lives in ways you may never fully understand. This union is designed to carry hope, restoration, and faith that will inspire and uplift others. The Bible is full of stories of couples who were chosen for more than just personal love. Consider Abraham and Sarah, whose covenant with God was not only for their own blessings but for the generations of nations that would spring from their lineage. God's promise to Abraham was far beyond the immediate. It was a promise that would change the course of history. Ruth and Boaz, too, were not simply united for personal fulfillment. Their union carried a divine legacy that brought forth the lineage of King David and ultimately the birth of Jesus Christ. What may have seemed like an ordinary love story was actually part of a much larger divine narrative, one that would change the world forever. This is what your union represents. It is not just a love story, it is a divine thread in the fabric of God's great plan. You are not just called to live for yourselves. You are called to live for a higher purpose, to carry the weight of a legacy that reflects God's kingdom. The covenant you are entering into is a sacred partnership, one that will be a beacon of faith, love, and purpose to the world around you. In the quiet moments of waiting, it can be difficult to see the fullness of this promise. The world often tries to pull our focus onto the immediate, the personal, and the temporary. But God's view is so much broader. He sees not only the moment you and your partner will share, but the legacy that will emerge from that moment. He sees the generations of love, wisdom, and grace that will flow from your union. Every act of faithfulness, every step of trust you take in this season is building the foundation for something eternal. So, as you wait, as you hold on to hope, trust in God's perfect timing. It may not look like what you expected, and it may not happen on your timeline, but rest assured, it will be more than you ever imagined. This covenant will be a reflection of God's love, a testament to His power, and a legacy of faith that will carry on long after the moment of union has passed. This is not just about love. It is about a calling, a divine purpose that will stretch beyond your own lives. You are being aligned with the will of God, and when the time comes for this union to be fully realized, you will see the fullness of what God has planned. The waiting, the longing, the silence. It is all part of the preparation. The pain, the struggle, the uncertainty. It is all part of the divine shaping of something sacred, something eternal. So trust in the process. Trust that God is not only preparing you, but the person you are meant to walk with. Trust that this covenant will not only bless you, but will transform the world around you. What you are about to step into is not just a union. It is the beginning of a divine partnership that will change lives, heal hearts, and build a legacy of faith that will last for generations. And when the moment arrives, when you finally step into this divine covenant, you will understand that every second of waiting, every moment of uncertainty was worth it. Because this is not just about you. It is about the purpose God has called you to fulfill together. And it is a purpose that will echo through eternity. As you stand on the threshold of your waiting, take a moment to reflect on the incredible journey you've walked thus far. The waiting may feel like a pause, a standstill, but it is, in fact, a sacred preparation. Every moment of silence, every whisper of doubt, every longing that tugs at your heart is not wasted. This season, though it may seem slow, is a divine process, a refining of both your heart and the heart of the one you are waiting for. Trust in this truth. God is not inactive, even in the quiet. Even in the moments when it feels like nothing is changing, He is moving. He is aligning, shaping, and preparing. He is working in both of your hearts, refining them for the union that is meant to be. It may feel like the story has stalled, but in reality, God is orchestrating everything perfectly behind the scenes. His timing is never early, never late, but always exactly as it needs to be. The preparation you are going through is not just for your future union, but for the person God is calling you to become. You are being shaped, molded, and stretched in ways that will make you stronger, wiser, and more aligned with His purpose for your life. This waiting is not a delay. It is the hand of God working in you, preparing you for the calling you have yet to fully step into. This season is a gift, a time for you to grow in trust, in patience, and in faith. You may not yet see it, but the pieces are falling into place, and God's plan is being woven in ways beyond your comprehension. Do not let your heart grow weary in the waiting, though it feels like time is standing still. Trust that God is not idle. He is not making you wait for no reason. This is a time of deep transformation, not just for the two of you, but for everything and everyone your union will touch. As you wait, you are being prepared to hold the weight of a covenant that carries eternal significance. Every prayer, every tear, every moment of trust is building the foundation for something divine, something that will reflect God's glory in ways you can't yet fully see. Remember the promises that God has spoken over your life. His promises are unshakable, and though the waiting may feel long, know that His timing is always perfect. The seasons of silence are not evidence that God has forgotten you. They are proof that He is preparing you for something extraordinary. Even when it feels like nothing is moving, God is aligning hearts, circumstances, and events in perfect harmony. Now is the time to stand firm, to let your faith remain strong, even when doubt tries to creep in. Keep your hope alive, for the waiting is not a sign of abandonment, but a sign of preparation. God is preparing both of you for the fulfillment of the promise. Trust that when the time comes, it will be worth every moment of uncertainty, every tear, every prayer. This is not just about the person you are waiting for. It is about you becoming the person you were always meant to be. You were created for this moment, for this divine calling. So, reflect on the blessings of perseverance. Every day you stand firm. Every day you hold on to hope. You are being shaped into a vessel that will carry a love, a purpose, and a legacy that will transcend your lifetime. Declare your readiness to step into the divine role that has been prepared for you. Your moment is coming, and it will be more than you could ever imagine. Stand tall, choose one, trust in God's perfect plan. Keep walking in faith, knowing that even in the silence, God is moving. He is preparing, and He is guiding you to the moment when everything aligns perfectly. The waiting is not in vain. The divine role you are called to walk into is just on the horizon. And when the time is right, you will step into it with a heart full of trust, a spirit full of grace, and a life full of purpose.